My husband told me what he and his family used to do to their youngest sibling because they thought he was an affair child, and now I don't think I can stay married to this monster. I'll try to be brief. I'm still fuming. My husband, 29M, comes from a big family, 4 brothers, 2 sisters, raised by a single mother for the most part. The youngest of his siblings is Joseph, 19M. In the 6 years I've known Joseph, he's always seemed awkward, a little too quiet, and socially inept. I have always had a special fondness for Joseph because he's such a sweet person, and I was a little awkward growing up myself. Joseph has been struggling with some classes, and I've been helping him. My husband took me out for a special dinner to thank me for this, and it was there that he revealed why Joseph sometimes struggles. Apparently, their dad, who is now dead, left their mom over accusations that Joseph was a product of infidelity. He was not. But their dad was super paranoid about infidelity and treated his wife like property. The father started abusing Joseph when Joseph was as young as 2, beating him. He left shortly thereafter and passed away a few years later. The abuse didn't stop there. My mother-in-law picked up where the father left off. The beatings and abuse are too graphic and unspeakable for me to detail here. It's disgusting and inhumane. My husband said that all the siblings took part, including himself. When I could no longer take listening to the details and the extent to which my husband participated, I asked him why and how he could do those things. He went into full-on defense mode when he saw how furious I was and said they were told Joseph was not their brother. Like that's a valid excuse? He said the family buried it and doesn't talk about it. That Joseph started defending himself at about 13, and the abuse stopped then. I asked him if anybody had apologized to Joseph. He said Joseph doesn't need an apology, that he just needs to forget, and in time he will. Since that night 3 weeks ago, I have been unable to be affectionate in any way toward my husband. It's like I went from totally in love to totally repulsed by him. He's suddenly somebody I don't even know. I honestly don't know why Joseph has chosen to stay around all these animals, and I'm disgusted with myself for marrying one. Last weekend we had a backyard cookout, as we often do. Most of his siblings were here. Joseph knocked over a pitcher of iced tea. He's a little shaky and a little clumsy, but it was obviously an accident. My mother-in-law went off and started berating him, calling him an idiot and a few other names. She started berating him about his hands and how they shake so much, telling him to get control of it and stop shaking. I gave my husband a look like, hey, jump in here. He didn't do anything. I lost it. I went completely crazy on her and told her that maybe if she hadn't beaten him and done other things, etc. At this point, my husband jumped in and told me to take it easy on his mom. I told her to leave, and she told everybody to leave with her. Joseph only stayed because I practically begged him to stay, but she told him to leave too. I tried to talk to my husband about what happened and why I went off. He told me to mind my own business about his family. I told him to leave at that point. He reluctantly left and has been calling and texting me nonstop to forgive him. /relevant comments. Commenter. Your husband sounds like an absolutely horrible human being, and I am really sorry you are going through this. It is one thing to have been involved because it was just the family thing to do, but it is another entirely to take up for it. To be honest, they should all be prosecuted. I realize that this sucks a lot right now, but this is not something I could ever live through. I don't know if you have children, but if you do, that kind of abusive history is something that he might repeat with your own children and would also be important in any custody disputes. He is despicable. I am sorry you found out this way and not sooner. Edit to add, when I mentioned being involved with it because it was a family thing, I meant while Op's husband was an impressionable youth. But if this happened until Op's husband was 23, if my math is right, then even the family pressure thing doesn't fly. We are talking about someone who was abusive well into his 20s. Op's response. We have a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. My husband has been a good dad, but this changed everything for me. I hate to break up the family because of our kids, but I don't even sleep anymore because I keep picturing what Joseph had to endure. Commenter. Oh, wow, I am so sorry. I truly believe you are doing the right thing, but wow. It is just scary, even if he is a good dad, that he thinks that is appropriate behavior. Your kids are young and hopefully resilient. They are lucky to have a mother with empathy. Op's response. Thank you, but yes, I can't get over the fact that even when the abuse began, my husband was around 11 to 13. Even at that age, I think you have to know not to treat a child like a piece of trash or a fly you just squash for no reason. Op adds an edit to their post. Finally heard back from a friend I had emailed. She's a counselor. She told me I actually victimized Joseph by bringing up the abuse that Friday night. She says I should have simply stood up for him for what happened that night. She says I should apologize to him for that, and I will tonight. She also said it's probably going to be the first and only apology Joseph ever gets that's even remotely related to all the abuse he suffered, so be ready for anything. I'm picking him up at his friend's house tonight. His mom kicked him out over what happened. Everything is happening so fast now. My parents have stepped up big time and offered to move him in. My dad is going to teach him how to drive and help him get his driver's license. He's going to give him his old car that nobody drives. Now we just have to convince him to accept our help. Haven't read all your comments, but I will. Things are just happening fast, I need to keep up. I know my kids will be fine. Right now, I'm in full get Joseph help mode. I have not read all your comments, but I will. Thank you all. Oh, I almost forgot. I spoke to my husband on the phone finally. He thinks he's going to talk his way back. I asked him why his mom kicked out Joseph. He said he had no idea what I was talking about, he didn't know. Joseph told me that my husband has been staying at his mom's and he was there when Joseph was kicked out. I will file for divorce, no chance I'm taking him back. Op adds a second edit to their post. Some of you have asked about the details of the abuse. I left them out to spare you. Something inside you breaks when you hear the details of what they did to Joseph. I wanted people to read this and not have to visualize it. Horrible and tragic are not big enough words. Op adds a third edit to their post. Sorry I can't respond to every comment, and thanks for the kind words. Just to add some clarity to questions I keep seeing, no, he has no remorse, nor does he think an apology is needed. He also feels no therapy is needed for anybody, just time to heal. But at the same time, he acknowledges that Joseph's shaking and struggle are a result of the abuse. I don't get this contradiction, but I will get therapy for myself as well and try to get more answers. Also, yes, my dad is pretty awesome. I knew he would spring into action if I just talked to him. My mom is great too. I knew Dad would get her to sign on as well. They like Joseph, and they had reservations about me marrying my husband, but that was for other, seemingly petty reasons at the time. I swear on my life that I did not know my husband and his family had this secret. I only knew that they all seemed normal, but Joseph was clearly damaged. He is very sweet-natured, but you can tell he has endured some things. I always wanted to get close to him and try to understand him, but I never would have guessed. Update 1 month 2 weeks later. I filed for divorce after a few conversations with my husband. He blames Joseph for our divorce and became very threatening. At one point, he said he would walk away from me and our 2 kids if I didn't stop the divorce process. I called his bluff and told him, good, go, we would be better off. In my state, it takes 6 months to finalize a divorce when children are involved. I have sole custody, and he never filed for joint custody, which is good. Now on to Joseph. There's so much, but I'll try to be brief. He's in therapy and lives with my parents. He's sticking it out with school even though he has anxiety and depression. He's fighting really hard to heal. Sometimes he has setbacks and is just like a broken down little boy. He has a very strong will and spirit, and sometimes I wonder how far he would have gone in life, even now at 19, if the animals hadn't totally broken him. His siblings and mom still try to contact him and guilt him for not staying with his mom to take care of her as she ages. They all agreed that Joseph's life would be to be the mother's caretaker as they all go on to live their own as they wish. He actually feels guilty about not fulfilling that, shockingly. He has a long way to go before he realizes that his life is his to do as he wishes. They don't have his phone number anymore, but they email him. My dad got him a new phone because his mom would call him and berate him and guilt him. It seemed like every conversation with her set him back 2 steps. She still knows how to crush him, sadly. I wish she didn't have that power over him. I've never wished a death penalty on somebody like I do on her. He's dating a girl, and I'm scared she might hurt him, break his heart, but my dad is more encouraging of that and has to remind me not to overprotect him. Joseph has become very close with my mom. He drives her grocery shopping and enjoys doing that stuff with her. My dad taught him how to drive in like 1 week. He is about to take his driving test for his driver's license. He's still on a learner's permit. There are a lot of positive things going on, but progress is very slow, and sometimes it's like watching a clock. It just seems like he's standing still in terms of anxiety and depression. I can't say too much about all that's going on, but I can say that my parents have an attorney and are going through the adoption process. I wanted this to be a more upbeat and positive update, but honestly, Joseph struggles a lot. Law enforcement is now involved because some of the physical abuse is more recent than I thought, just from his mom. He has a few scars, and he has broken bones that never healed properly because he never got medical attention. Protection orders are likely to be granted. If they are, then according to the investigators, charges will almost be inevitable. That part of it I can't say much about, but I can say that Joseph is willing to go forward with that process for now under the guidance of his therapist. But we have been warned that he may choose to back off later. Though one cop said there is a point of no return for the district attorney even without Joseph's cooperation. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Wow, up. Thank you for helping him so much. If you hadn't done what you did that night, he would still be getting abused by his mom. You and your family are great people, keep up with the updates if you can. It's good you divorced, because if that's your husband's mentality, I can't imagine what justification he would have if he hit your kids in the future. Tell Joseph to make a new email, just so he can start fresh. Don't delete the old one in case the police need any emails from his family. I still can't believe how everything can change so quickly. Happy Halloween, up. Op's response. You're right, my life, my kids' lives, and Joseph's life are on a totally different trajectory now. Our futures are forever and drastically changed. Op on how her parents are adopting an adult. Our state allows for this to happen so that Joseph can have benefits like medical insurance as long as he's still a student. It gives Joseph inheritance rights, and it gives my parents medical decision rights in case Joseph were to have an accident and was not able to speak for himself. That way, his mom can't try to take over if, God forbid, this happened. Op was asked how often her husband was hit. Yes, I did ask. He was never hit. Joseph was the only one who was physically abused. But obviously, it was toxic for everybody. Joseph was absolutely the only abused one. He was singled out by their dad originally, and then the mom also kept it up. How did Op not see anything before? I missed a lot of things, but my friends are now coming forward with things they witnessed that I either didn't see or was in denial about. He is somewhat of a Jekyll and Hyde, but there were signs I should have paid more attention to. His family, however, really does a good job of hiding the inner workings of the family and their disgusting secrets.